Hello everyone, this is what we are going to go through today. There is a bit of stuff here that I'm going to talk you guys through. I'm well aware you can't see me right now. But I'm going to basically show you all of my eyeshadow palettes. I doubt there are going to be any that I throw away, maybe, potentially, not sure. But just going through them and just see what I have. And I just thought I'd bring you guys along with me. So I'm going to put on my Posh lens, my 50mm lens, and zoom you guys in. So I'm going to start off with the first little pile I've got. I've just got 5 here sort of lined up. So the first 2 I have in my collection are from Girls with Attitude. I'm not sure if they've changed the packaging for these, but I received these in PR a long time ago, and they are still probably some of my favourite eyeshadow palettes, apart from this band I'm not a big fan of. Never mind, I think they've changed the packaging. But these are kind of, what dupes? I think these are dupes for maybe the Urban Decay eyeshadows, but I haven't touched this one as much because it's not, sorry, this one as much because it's not really my type of vibe. Like, the colours are just not my favourite, to be honest. But the quality of these eyeshadows are fantastic. I wanted to show you a few of them sort of close up just so you can see. I think I should have got my makeup wipes out for this. But the pigmentation of these eyeshadows are just incredible, and I really, like, every time I look at them I'm like, oh, I need to use you more because you are just so lovely and delightful, really buttery and smooth. Next ones, again, I got these in PR from a company, I can't remember the name, but I did a big video on them. But they sell different brands that have, in my opinion, duplicates of already existing brands or already existing products. So I've got the Retro Love palette from Bad Habit, and then also the Royals palette. These are really good. I love this eyeshadow palette here, which is just, in my humble opinion, very creamy, really buttery. Shades are super pigmented. The Royals palette is lovely. I haven't used this as much because I actually have the eyeshadow palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, the Modern Renaissance ones, but they are really good duplicates. And then the next section, or the next palette, sorry, from that section is one from Technic. This is their Pro Finish. Again, looks very much like the Modern Renaissance in my opinion. Yeah, this is also a really great eyeshadow palette that I have used, and I don't say I religiously use them, but whenever I see it, I feel really inspired to create some sort of looks with it. So this is really good. So these are some of the shades. I don't say that Technic had a bad reputation, because it didn't, but it was known as a more cheaper brand, and I feel like they've really amped up the quality of their eyeshadow palettes. Moving on to my next stash. So I've got mainly Sleek here, and then I think it's also Technic as well. So I'm just going to start off with these ones to show you. These 2 here, they're the Technic Shade Shifter eyeshadow palettes. Again, I got this in PR, and they are really, really cute. I love their new dupes for, I think it's the Huda Beauty eyeshadow palette. I'm not keen on the super white, and that was a cool trick, super white and dark base at the top. For me, just not keen on them. They are super pigmented, but they're not glittery shades, so they are marketed at being matte and glittery eyeshadows, but they're not. They're more frosts in my opinion, because they have like a glitter overlay. But I mean, they are beautiful shades, and I did look at these not so long ago and I was like, oh, shall I just get rid, you know, do we need these? But this shade here, and even though I've got one exactly like it, I just am keeping it on. I'm just keeping it literally for that reason. So they're cute. They are going to stay for now, but potentially I might be getting rid of these in the future. Next one from Technic. This is their Colour Max eyeshadow palette, which is, well, it's also a face palette really, because you've got your bronzer, you've got your highlight, you've got your blush, and then you've also got the shades at the top. Blush is beautiful. Highlight is just wow. They're really good with their highlights. Bronze, fantastic, really lovely shades, sort of typical shades. And the eyeshadows are really beautiful, but I don't think they belong in the same palette, because I couldn't exactly take this palette away with me and just use these shades as like my, you know, my real OGs. Nevertheless, they are beautiful, they are super pigmented, and I'm going to keep it for that reason. Sleek palettes. Sleek. These will be the death of me. You guys do not know how many times I've sat down with these eyeshadow palettes and wanted to get rid of them, but I just can't. For some reason, I just cannot get rid of them. So let's just open them all up and just find it a bit easier to show you guys. They're all here in all of their wonderful glory, so let me just take you through them. I love sleek eyeshadow palettes. I think they are fantastic, especially their more frosted pearlescent shades. I think are absolutely stunning. As you can see, the blue's not the best in that one. But I just don't know what it is. Like, I just never use them because I feel like the issue is I can't get a whole look out of one eyeshadow palette. You guys might be able to get one look out of these eyeshadow palettes, but they're not my typical shades, and I don't think any other palettes have the perfect shades for me, which is why I'm a bit skeptical about them. So this one here is the original, probably my most used eyeshadow palette from Sleek, and this is their Oh So Special eyeshadow palette. Next one is probably the one that actually takes my fancy the most. This is the Enchanted Forest one, which I think is super, super beautiful. Let me just put it here. I think this is beautiful, this purple with the blues, and especially this, it's kind of like a bluey purple, if you can see what that looks like. But I think that is super pretty, and I think combining it with loads of different shades, I'm going to force myself to do a look on this. Next one is the Storm palette. Again, this shade is really good for highlight, but just not really my shades, TBH. And very lastly, I've got the Vintage Romance palette here, which again, kind of similar tones to the previous ones I really liked, but I'm not sure. Right, next in my makeup collection is one from Sigma. This is their Warm Neutrals palette, which is pretty beat up. When I received this in a PR package, oh my goodness, I could have cried because that was probably one of the most special moments to me ever. I love this palette, really love it. Sometimes I'm feeling a bit more adventurous and I'll go for some of the other shades, like this one here is just the most beautiful gold. This here is quite a nice muted purpley pink, but I will throw that in a bag and be quite content with my eyeshadow looks. Next one, which looks pretty beat up to be fair, probably should give this bad boy a clean. This is the Yes Please eyeshadow palette from Colourpop. I need to use this more often. I forgot about this and I don't know why, because it is the most beautiful eyeshadow palette that is so not hyped about. I'm just going to give you a swatch of a few. They are rich in colour. This one, Buttercake, has a bit of, well, a lot of fallout, but I don't really care. Insane. Next eyeshadow palette is from Makeup Revolution, and this is, or it's that I Heart Makeup, sorry. It's from, I don't know, are these companies I Heart Makeup in the same branch as Makeup Revolution? Not sure. But this is their Unicorn Love palette, which just makes me laugh a little bit, like not in a nasty way, but it just reminds, like, it's so nostalgic. Because I swear I used to have an eyeshadow palette like that when I was younger. Claire's Accessories, big up. Not really my shades in here, to be honest. I probably am going to get rid of this one. When I say get rid, I mean give it to friends, family, somebody else to use it. Next one is from I Heart Revolution. This is really confusing. Their Red Velvet eyeshadow palette, which I think is absolutely beautiful. If I can get this over. I love the packaging on these. They really do make me just so happy. But yeah, love the shades in here. They're all my shades. Very beigey. Love the pop of pink, although it doesn't really do much. On the finger it does, but it's, well, great. But it's very chalky and the payoff isn't great and it stains. Next one I've got is the Naked Chocolate palette. I love the shades in here, but I probably only use about 50% of them because, is it me or are they all similar? And I thought I'd never say that about makeup, especially nude lipsticks. Yeah, I never thought I'd say that, but I'm going to keep it anyway because it's really good for smoky looks. And the next one is the Peanut Butter Cup. I have to be careful saying that. Don't use this as often, but really like the shades in here, and I think they're really nice and spring and summery, so I'm going to keep that one. Next one, not sure if you can still get this because it might have been limited edition, but I think it's their 1 million. I think when they reached 1 million subscribers or followers, I think they brought this eyeshadow palette out, and it is beautiful. Really love this eyeshadow palette. Let me just swatch a few of these for you. Really beautiful colour selection here. Really creamy. They do really well with those sorts of formulas. I'm definitely going to keep that. There's only, I think, 3 mattes. I think that one, and that one's a matte. There's one that is from a brand called Face Candy, and this is their Sugar palette, I'm guessing. Really odd palette, but I think this is a dupe for the Too Faced. Oh, what is it? I don't have any Too Faced eyeshadow palettes, so I'm not sure. But I know it is a dupe. Really beautiful colours in here. A few that are a bit, kind of just leave them. But pistachio, candy, chocolate cake, hot cocoa, sugar and spice. Absolutely beautiful. Really nice highlighty shades here, so I'm going to keep that one. Next is one from W7. This is On the Rocks. What is that? Neutrals on Ice eyeshadow palette. I have one that looks the exact same, which I've previously showed you, but sometimes I like to dupe them off. But it is a dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills. What is this still doing in here? Oh, I didn't actually realise I had a brush in here. Oh, and it's quite a good brush as well. That's nice. I'm going to keep that one. Thank you. Literally a real OG. Zoeva Cocoa Blend eyeshadow palette. Oh, I cannot sing the praises enough. This is one of the best eyeshadow palettes I have ever used. I love Freshly Toasted down here. These, it's just all me. I think one of the first things I ever ordered from Beauty Bay when I actually had some money, and I'm not talking about now, but like the first time I had money, this was, I think it was this, some velour lashes and something else, and it just brings a lot of happy memories of the times I had money. Oh, that was not good. Next up is the Modern Renaissance from Anastasia Beverly Hills, the only palette I own from them. I wish I owned more, but they are just so expensive. I did not realise how good quality Anastasia Beverly Hills was until I tried this palette. And again, everything, it was just my shades. I will never part with it. Then I've got 2 eyeshadow palettes from Huda Beauty. The first one is the Textured eyeshadow palette, which is a little bit dusty because it's been on display. I, again, will never part with these eyeshadow palettes. This is the very first one, and a lot of people hated it. Like, a lot of people hated it, which I just didn't understand because it is just so good, and I feel like people weren't using it to its proper... I don't know, I just don't feel like people were using it how they were meant to. I kind of understand what they're saying about the top shades because they are slightly difficult to... Literally thought that was mould in there, but it's not. They are slightly difficult to work with, but this is where you need to use your fingers, because if I try it with a brush... Actually, I've just cleaned my brushes, so I'm not going to, sols. They are really difficult to work with, so I think if you use your finger, everything is fine, but they do mount in really, really well. I'm always going to be keeping that one, mainly because Ben bought me the 2 Huda Beauty eyeshadow palettes, so they've got a lot of sentimental meaning to them as well. My favourite palette, and I could have screamed when this came out because I just thought it was the most... Oh my god, just look, everything, like packaging, she really is just fantastic. Again, I'm not ever going to part with this because it is just the most stunning eyeshadow palette. I don't know how many times I tried to take pictures of this and try and repost them. But she was really brave putting in a glitter as well, I thought, and she just did so well. And colour theme, oh my god, just, she, honestly, she just did fantastic. Next one, BH Cosmetics, a very nostalgic palette, not the best in terms of its pigmentation, and it stains really bad, but I'm going to keep it anyway because it's just a beautiful, beautiful eyeshadow palette. The next 2 I have a custom eyeshadow palettes, so these are all my Makeup Geek eyeshadows, what are these called? They're not frosted, I can't remember what they're called, but these are the duochrome ones, the first ones I ever imported from the USA, so again, very nostalgic. These are like the frosted-y, you know, like the really intense shimmery ones, so I keep those in a palette there. And then I've just got this other custom Makeup Geek eyeshadow palette. of all the other different shades, because I think they are some of the best eyeshadows you can purchase, and some of them are a bit flaky, like this mint. You have to really pack on that mint shade, but love them. I really do hope Makeup Geek are doing well. The next one is the 350 palette from Morphe. This was such an overly hyped eyeshadow palette, which I do get. I felt like it gave me a bit more inspiration. I didn't realise, looking at it now, I wouldn't have been so desperate to buy it, but at the time I was really desperate to buy it, so I did. Love these shades over here. These are a bit meh, so yeah, not sure. Really like this highlighting. Oh my god, look at that. Oh, we might need to get this bad boy. It's actually made the exposure on my camera go really odd as well. Look. Oh my goodness. These two are from MAC. This is the Burgundy ×9 eyeshadow palette and the purple ×9. These are really cute. Love these. MAC are not the best for eyeshadows in my most humble opinion, but I used this one this morning and I was so impressed with it. This is the Burgundy one because they are literally my type of tones. So love those. Gonna keep those. To match that, I remember buying this. This is the Warm Neutrals palette, which if you brought out now, people would probably slate it in terms of how good it is, because it's not great, I have to say. But I will still use it, and I force myself to get my money's worth. The shade here, Saddle, is really, really good. So always going to keep my MAC eyeshadow palette. This one here is from Prima Makeup, but this is a glitter eyeshadow palette. I love, literally, I will always reach this eyeshadow palette, and they are such a good, fantastic brand. You can see those just there. Really finish off any eye looks. So if you guys are looking for any festively makeup this season, then you need to definitely go out and check Prima Makeup out. They stick to the eyes as well. Eyeshadow palette here is from Makeup Revolution, and this is the Life on the Dance Floor eyeshadow palette. I haven't really ever used this, to be honest, because it's just, I thought it was my sort of thing. I will dip into it occasionally because it is absolutely stunning, but I just feel like the shades are not quite where I want them to be. Last few, guys, we're getting there. The first one is the Brown Sugar eyeshadow palette from Colourpop. This was the, is it Carouche? Carouche? Oh no! The frame things like come out. Oh. Love this eyeshadow palette. This is absolutely stunning. I can take that. This is one actually that I'll pop into my bag and just take away with me for the rest of my life because it is so, so good. At the same time, I've got the Shayla with Colourpop Perception eyeshadow palette. This is beautiful, absolutely stunning. I was so inspired when I saw this eyeshadow palette because it is phenomenal, especially the blue is what I don't think you can see. What am I doing? Shades are just absolutely phenomenal, and the one thing I love about them is that when you put it onto the finger, it transfers onto the eye instead of leaving everything all on your finger. So love that. This is the Zulu eyeshadow palette, which, how cool does that look on the screen? That is lush. Love that. This is what the eyeshadow palette looks like. This sort of trying to feel all adventurous. All of the shades, apart from the purple, possibly the pink, and this shade here, I'm not a big fan. They're very chalky. You have to really build up pigmentation, and when you swipe it, it does come off the eye. Might just be my palette, but I was literally chatting to some girls the other day. They had the same eyeshadow palette and they had literally the same exact issues with me. But the top two are, top three are brilliant, and also the shimmers are absolutely stunning. So for that reason, I keep it. Kind of want to work with that green. Might do something with that green today. And very lastly, an oldie but a goodie, the Urban Decay Vice eyeshadow palette. which I love, absolutely love. The shades in here are just absolutely beautiful. If I was looking for something adventurous before the Zulu palette came along, I would go into this one to try out a bit of colour, and just love every shade in here. There's not one that I don't dislike. They are slightly muted. They're not as, let me just try that green actually. They're not as intensely pigmented as maybe some other shades, but I like it. Really, really like it. So that was everything. I'm going to finish it on this note, guys. I hope you enjoyed part 2 of my organisation videos with my makeup, and I think in my next video I will do my acrylic storage. So until then, I shall see you in my next video. Bye!